glad you're here. If you're in line, go ahead and get that, and if you're going to go ahead and go on with your eating. But I do need everybody's attention because it starts at 11. Okay, hang on. Sorry to interrupt. I love that everybody enjoys getting together. We're going to do things just a little bit different today because it's one of those things, technology. We're in the 2000s, you know, but we still have technology issues from time to time. So one of the things that we're going to do, we're going to change the agenda. If you have your agendas, please get those out for a second. It looks just like this. Now, what I'd like you to look at on this is you notice down here, we're going to be going down through this and go through some things. And then on the back page, there's some more information as you flip it over. And actually, Mr. Correa is going to see if he can help us because the projector is not working today. So one of the things that we want to do, my name is Don Gaddy, and I am a financial advisor for Edward Jones. That's my paying job, and I am blessed to be the head of, or whatever, I don't even remember what I call myself. I do this stuff for the Summer Creek BizCom, which is a part of the Chamber of Commerce. So we are so blessed. Trey Kramer, if you wouldn't mind raising your hand. Also, Guy Sconzo, raise your hand. Trey Kramer was principal here in 2009. Guy Sconzo has been the principal, or the superintendent here for a number of years. Give them a round of applause, please. We are so blessed. I'm not sure if there's any other school district in the country that we could have what we have here. Because this is the 26th meeting of us getting together, and then we've got a number of people that are on the advisory board for the Summer Creek BizCom. Would you raise your hands, please? Thank you to you all. Thank you for all of you, because without this, we would not have these community meetings here, and then also throughout the whole ISD. Now, a number of you guys have asked me, have noticed that I'm walking around with a crutch, so let me just tell you what that's all about. So one of the things is that, you know, when you play football and you grow up on a farm, some things happen through the years, and it's been bone on bone for a while, so I got to have a new hip put in. So, you know, I'm really, this is the first day since January 20th that I've had a suit on. I've been in jammies ever since then, and I'm glad to be among the land and the living. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, I got to tell you some things that I've learned. When you have something like this, and it's really helped me to understand what people go through. I cannot believe how many things I dropped. And how much you take for granted that you could bend over and pick something up. I've never seen such heavy gravity in my life. But this thing right here, I got this, and I love this. And my son looks at me the other day and he said, "You're not getting rid of that when you're finished with this, are you?" I said, "Absolutely not. I can sit in the couch and grab something. It's awesome." And even today, Sam said it was good. We could work on something here, so it really works out well. All right, so is Mr. Correa back down here yet? Okay, so let's go ahead and let me see here to begin with. We've got some sponsors that we want to talk about. Vivian, are you here? Vivian Bond? Now, are you needing anything up here? So give her a round of applause. Memorial Hermann, our friends at Memorial.
Thank you, Don. It's always a pleasure to be here, both as a Fall Creek resident and also representing the Community Care Center just in front of Summer Creek High School, as well as Memorial Hermann Northeast. So we appreciate the opportunity to be the presenting sponsor of this BizCom, and to also just give you a brief update on some things that are happening within Memorial Hermann. So first of all, on your table, you'll see a couple of documents from us. Number one, our Advances in Health magazine. And I'm not going to talk to you about all the details because you can certainly read about our exciting operating room expansion. We're opening up a hybrid endovascular suite, which essentially gives cardiovascular and vascular surgeons the opportunity to both do invasive and minimally invasive procedures in the same room. Many times if that happens, you have to transition a patient from a cath lab into an operating room. They'll now have the ability to combine those procedures in one. We're having an open house on Thursday, February 26th from 5 to 7. So if you have any interest in coming out and seeing our expansion, we would love to have you there. We've also provided a postcard on your table introducing our newest newest member of our medical staff, brand new neurosurgeon, Dr. George Al-Shami, who started performing procedures with us and joined our medical staff at the beginning of January. He is a spine expert, so hopefully nobody has any spinal cord injuries, any back pain in the room, but if you do, please consider giving Dr. George Al-Shami the opportunity to address your pain. Again, thank you for having us here. We always appreciate the opportunity and love to hear our Summer Creek updates.
You know, we've supported them a lot in our family. You know, I hate to say how much we've done it, but we appreciate our friends from Memorial Hermann. It's really nice. My wife was down here. I mean, your kids can go to college. Y'all can do anything you want off of our family. We've done good things. Okay, so our next presenting sponsor, Alicia Buster, are you here from Lake Houston YMCA? Give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Again, I know I get up here, it seems like quite often. For those of you who aren't aware, we have property at Wood Creek Middle School where we hold YMCA youth sports games, and we hold some of them in Wood Creek Middle School. Just want to let you know that we have spring sports coming up, volleyball, baseball, t-ball, and soccer, and so if there's an interest in that, we definitely have that coming up, and registration ends March 1st for that. The other thing is we had Bridge Fest this last weekend, and we love the support from all over the Lake Houston area, but we're seeing more support come from the Summer Creek, Fall Creek area, and so we definitely appreciate that. We had representation from some of the schools down south for our elementary school challenge, so that was exciting to have that, and we hope next year that maybe some of these schools from this area can actually win the elementary school challenge up there for Bridge Fest. The only other thing that I want to talk about is we have job opportunities, especially if you have like 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds in your household. We are looking for, at 16 they can start with youth sports. We are looking for kids who can, kids or adults that want to be site supervisors or officials. And so if that's something you're interested in, contact the Lake Houston Y. They'll go through the hiring process up there, but they will work down here in this community, in this area. So thank you.
Very much. Okay, we appreciate them very, very much. Now, if you notice, way back when we first started this, Chick-fil-A said that they would be willing to, and by the way, how many of you have been, this is your first time to Summer Creek BizCom? Raise your hand, please. Okay, we're so glad you're here. We started this back in 2009, and I promise it wouldn't have gotten started without Chick-fil-A, because in Texas, when you say you're having something and you're having Chick-fil-A, people show up. Now, I do have a question for you, Dwayne. Are you all Chick-fil-A at Wilson Road and Beltway, or are you Chick-fil-A Fall Creek, or yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. Fall Creek.
Yes and yes.
Okay, well, we appreciate you all so much. And Jackie, thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Great. And if you'll notice at the bottom of the page, there are other gold sponsors for our meals for this, for all the Summer Creek BizComs or HEB Summerwood. And then our new one this time is Nikki Davis, where you raise your hand, and we appreciate you so much from Keller Williams. Thank you. So give them a round of applause. Okay, so Mr. Pratt, I'm going to thank you. Hang on just a second. I have to do that to the principal. But I've got a situation where Melissa Aaron, if you'll make your way up here, please. She's going to be talking about Summer Creek High School project graduation, and she has to be gone by 11:15. Now, I asked her what she does for a living, and she says, well, I'm only a mom. Come on now. She's got a son named Christian that's a senior, and also a son named Jordan that's a freshman. Her husband has Aaron Mechanical Air Conditioning, Heating, and Commercial Refrigeration, and he's part of the Chamber of Commerce also. So you do a lot more than that. Give her a few minutes and a round of applause.
I'm here more along the lines of parent mode today, though. I'm very nervous. I was asked to do this just last night, so I don't have anything prepared for this at all. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but we in the school district, graduating seniors have what is called project graduation. Basically, after these kids graduate, they are going to go home, spend a little time with family, then they're gonna come back and be locked in the school all night with their friends that they've just spent 4 years with. Not only is it one last time to hang out with your friends, it also keeps them safe. They're not out partying, they're not out running the roads, they're not drinking or doing drugs. If anything like that is brought here, of course they are asked to leave and repercussions will happen. But it's also a very large undertaking. It's very expensive, and it takes the community, it takes the parents, it takes the kids to all chip in together to get this done. The class of 2015 has had tons of fundraisers. I'm dressed like this today because I was selling donuts at 7 o'clock this morning. And when you take away sugar, you'd be surprised how much kids will pay for a donut. So I was doing that this morning. We've had car washes. I know we have teddy grams that are being sold to give your friends a teddy bear for Valentine's Day. But we do need community support. Atascocita, Kingwood, Humble are all schools that have been established in the district for quite a while. This has been going on in the district for quite a while. I'm going to date myself. Class of 1990, Humble High School. Ours was an awesome project graduation. And I remember it well. I remember hanging out with my friends and having fun. And, you know, when as parents we're going around to businesses, when we go to Atascocita, we hear a lot of, we support Atascocita High School already, sorry. When we go to Kingwood, we hear, sorry, we support Kingwood, because these schools have been doing this, these businesses have been here, they know year after year after year, hey, project graduation's coming up, we're supporting our local school. We're at a little bit of a disadvantage because we are growing by leaps and bounds on this end over here, but we don't have quite as many businesses to pull from. So that means that the ones that are here, we need your support more than ever. It would be a blessing beyond blessings. Anything that you guys could donate from your business to give back to this school. These kids have earned it. They've worked hard. I know as a business owner myself, there's always somebody needing something from you guys. Taxes, soccer program sponsorships. I mean, there's always something, but as you give back to the community, I can't, and I'm not just saying this because I'm biased and I'm needing your help, but I can't think of any more important thing to give back to kids who have earned it. And school is so hard, and I'm sorry, my kids graduating so bad. School is so hard, and these kids have worked so hard, and they just need something that's special to them that they can come back and say, man, I remember when we graduated, that was awesome. And we worked hard for that. And so anything that you guys could do, I'd appreciate. Mr. Gaddy has paperwork that you guys can pick up. There's donation amounts listed on there. Don't feel like you have to be put in that box. Anything above or below, we will take what we can get. We have to pay for food. We have to pay for activities. We give prizes. It's a big ordeal, and this class has, what, around 530-something kids. So I don't know how many of those are going to walk. I don't know how many of those will come, but it needs to be special for the ones that do. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we really appreciate you coming. Andrew, I do have a favor to ask of you. I've got these pages, and also if you can get those from Melissa. Do you have some pages? Okay. Andrew, do you mind putting these around the tables while we're doing other presentations? One of the things, I do want to explain something to you. One of the things with this BizCom, we've worked, and if you look on the back page for just a minute, we have our mission statements, where it says, we seek to build positive community spirit by promoting involvement, safety, security, and economic development in the Summer Creek area. One of the things that we've tried to be very, very careful of in our meetings is to make sure that when you come, that you don't feel like you're being hit up for a lot of things. But when we feel like, well, first of all, we owe so much to the school district and also to Summer Creek High School. And these students, if you can find a way to help with this, this is a great project. I know that Milton worked on this before, and so this is we think is a very worthy cause. So we appreciate you, Melissa. You did great. Now you can come up and dance for the last part. Can you do that part? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, in just a moment, I'm going to ask Mr. Correa. This is his first year as principal of Summer Creek High School. Doing an awesome job. Come on up, Mr. Correa, please.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. And thank you all for being here this afternoon, once again joining us for our BizCom. It's great to always host you here at Summer Creek. I want to give you a brief update, but before I do, Don, I'm not sure if you're getting a better workout today. I think you are. That up and down, you might strain those muscles. I hope the hip is doing well from the surgery, but thank you for being here. You're going to work yourself out there. But again, thank you for being here. I want to talk to you a little bit. Last time you were here, I was talking to you about a media frenzy that Summer Creek was under. And although that media piece has gone away, the urgency of addressing some of our issues at Summer Creek has not. And so we're working very diligently with our student body and our community and our staff to address some of the issues with our students here. One and foremost is communication. We're working diligently to communicate with our students that we are here to help them, that we stand ready, teachers, counselors, adults on this building, that if you'll come to us and let us know that you're having concerns, issues, things going on, whether it be in school or out of school, if they're coming here, we want to know. And so we've really started sending that message out to them that we're here to help, that we're here to sit with you and work out the situation. The other thing is we're holding them, we've always held them accountable, but we're starting to look at different consequences for our students in terms of hitting them a little bit in the social realm, which is, for example, if you're hitting us multiple times for discipline, one of the things we're doing is bringing you into an LGI like this first thing in the morning, and you don't actually get to go with your colleagues out to the cafeteria or other places. We're going to have you in here for D-Hall. We're addressing academics and some of the other things that we need to in this area, because they're hitting us in some other areas as well. So we're making sure that we're communicating that with them as well. And then we're working with our teachers, our staff, and our community to come up and have some ideas and thoughts of what's going on in those classrooms and outside the classrooms, because we're not having fights in the classrooms. Where we're having altercations is outside when we get in large groups. And you can see, although we're a big, beautiful facility, when you get 2,500 kids in here, and they're all doing something different, things can happen. So we want to make sure we communicate and even ask them where are our most needy areas so that we can address those and make sure that we're there. So we're working. Please know that that urgency is still there. We're also ramping up our, you may see already, our Twitter account. We started a new hashtag, Summer Creek High School Next Level. And what we're doing is having our kids start to post, because you know they like to post. Post the wonderful things that are happening. And they've started to talk about, hey, I got 100 in my social studies class. I scored an 89 or 98 on my biology test. And you started to see this past week. In fact, it started trending so much we became the 3rd trending thing in the country this weekend because of that, because of our kids starting to do that. So we want to make sure that they put that out so that we know academically what's happening and that they're talking more about that instead of other things that we really shouldn't be.
What's that hashtag?
It's hashtag Summer Creek High School, the letters SCHS, next level. And so follow us there so that you can see how our kids are doing here at Summer Creek. That's the academic piece. And then also this past month we had a stellar standout, Brittany Willer was honored by the board and the superintendent for her commitment to our students and our community. Now, although she didn't work alone, Summer Creek raised money to provide Christmas for about 100 students in our feeder pattern. And they ranged anywhere between $25 and $50 each one of those presents to provide something for our students. So we're very thankful for that. If you haven't heard already too, our student council is about ready to go to convention. If you didn't know about our student council in our region, they are the district secretary. So we're very proud of them about that. But as they go this year, this could be very well the 3rd year that they would win sweepstakes. There are only 5 schools in our area that have done this, and basically you have 5 areas in which you compete, And if you're in stellar in each one, you earn sweepstakes. If we were to win it this year, it would be our 3rd year in a row. And so we're very excited about that. We're wishing them the best of luck, and hopefully that'll happen for us as we compete this coming month. And then again, again, if you can help us with Project Graduation, I know we get you for a lot of things, but you know what? It's very nice to provide a program where once our kids graduate, they come back to us, we know they're safe, and that very next morning, we're not grieving over something that could have happened because they're safe here with us. So if you can help us, we do appreciate that. Again, thank you very much for being here, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
We're excited about it. We're excited about you being here. Okay, I want to ask you all that have lived here for a while, some of you old timers, y'all remember El Dorado Country Club? Okay. Man, it's come a long way, baby, hasn't it? Wow. We're so honored today. We've got 2 gentlemen that are very important to our community that I'm excited are here to share some things with us. And Mr. Timms, would you mind coming up, please?
Thank you, Don. Thanks for having me. I'm Steve Timms with the Houston Golf Association. Hopefully you all know that we organized the Shell Houston Open, which, by the way, is 45 days away. So it's coming right around the corner, kind of our rite of spring, if you will. So when the Shell Houston Open is coming around, springtime is upon us. So we're looking forward to a great event this year. You probably all know a little bit about it, but if I can leave you with just a couple of things, just please know that the event is very, very important to the community. It is a community event. We estimate that the economic impact during that week is about $25 million. We showcase live from Humble, Texas, the Golf Club of Houston, the Shell Houston Open on 6 hours on the weekend of live national television. Our tournament's also rebroadcast in 200 countries around the world. So a lot of focus, obviously, on our area where we love to work, live, and play. And so we invite you to come out. We invite you to support the event, obviously. We're driven by ticket sales, corporate support, and the byproduct of all of that is doing great things in the community through charity and through our youth development programs. You're going to hear from one of my colleagues in a minute about one of our primary initiatives, the First Tee of Greater Houston. So we're always, in just a minute, and we're always looking for volunteers. We've got one of our all-world volunteers right here in Gerard who, this man puts some amazing hours in during that week, and he really represents the lifeblood of not only the HTA, but the Shell Houston Open, of course, and through their efforts, we're able to really have a major impact on the community. Since we started, we're over $60 million in charitable impact in the community, a little over $2 million last year. Like I said, you're going to hear from one of my colleagues about one of our main initiatives in just a minute, the First Tee, which is impacting lives every day of young people with a life skills opportunity, character development. So thank you for having me, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Shell Houston Open.
Appreciate you being here. And we know how busy you gentlemen are, and well, all of you. And we really appreciate you taking the time. And I know that you need to get across town. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, so one of the things that I got to know, I had never met Mr. Earl before in my life. But, I've had some real fun this week exchanging emails. Just for example, I sent him directions on how to get here just in case he didn't know, because occasionally, when you put it on Google Maps or whatever, and he sends me something back and he says, and I got to tell you something, have you ever sent directions to somebody and they said, no, I'm not going to worry about it, I'm just going to do Google Maps? Why do you think I'm sending you the directions? So he emails me back, you made my day that day. He said, I'm so glad you sent me the directions because otherwise I would have been down off a 610 loop somewhere. So I really appreciate you paying attention. So this is a man after my own heart. So Mr. Earl, would you come on up, please? Give him a round of applause.
Thank you, John. I got here a lot quicker than I would have by MapQuest, let me tell you. No, it's good afternoon. Oh, no, it's still morning. Good morning, y'all.
Afternoon, so.
I'm Doug Earl. I'm Executive Director for the First Tee of Greater Houston. Steve Tim said I was a colleague of his. He's my boss, so I'm delighted you put him before me on the agenda because that is good protocol, I think. So it's a pleasure to be here. Gosh, you guys filled the room. It's fantastic. I've got a couple old friends here, but it's good to meet a bunch of new people today. How many of y'all have ever heard of the First Tee? See if my audience is here. Okay, that's probably about 2/3 of you. Some of you have never heard of us, and so I want to do a little education briefly with you today. The First Tee is a youth development organization. We work with young people 7 to 18 years of age. We help them build character. We help them with their life skills, and we help them with their healthy habits, their wellness. We feel that if young people have good character, good health, and have good life skills, they're going to grow up to be good adults. We firmly believe that, and so we partner with other organizations like Humble ISD, like the YMCA, and many other organizations to deliver a program that will benefit young people for the rest of their lives. We do this by, we really espouse 9 core values. We feel if a young person espouses these values too, they're going to be a pretty good kid and grow up to be a pretty good adult. And those core values include honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, respect, responsibility, courtesy, confidence, perseverance, and my personal favorite, judgment. If a kid has good judgment, I think they're going to do well on all those other core values. We also espouse healthy habits. We have our friends from Memorial Hermann. Now, my goal is to be honest with you, to stay out of the hospital, but things happen, as we all know. So, but we teach kids how to be active each and every day. We teach them how to eat nutritionally. We teach them about sleeping habits and everything that will make them a healthier person. We teach them life skills like meeting and greeting. Some of you may take that for granted. Y'all are business people, but if you meet somebody in business and they're looking down or they mumble their name, what kind of impression do you have of them? So we teach kids when they're 7 years old, to give a firm handshake, to look people in the eye, and to present themselves appropriately. And it's skills like that the kids need to know. I think we sometimes take those for granted. But there are life skills like time management, goal setting. On the golf course, you need what I call mood management. How many of y'all are golfers? Okay, some of you, for those of you who are not golfers, you may have an image of somebody hitting a bad shot and throwing their club. Well, the First Tee, we don't throw clubs. We teach kids how to manage their moods. In Humble, I've got to say, and I've only been on the staff of the First Tee about 1.5 years now, but Humble ISD partnered with the First Tee 9 years ago to initiate a program we call the National School Program. It's nationwide, but our chapter is in 350 schools in 20 different districts, but Humble was the first district we worked with, and we're in, I'm glad to say, Dr. Sconzo, every elementary school in Humble ISD. We serve about 13,000 students per year in that program. We train the PE teachers in each elementary school to deliver our curriculum of golf skills and character education. And so every elementary school in Humble ISD ought to be a really good kid. Thanks to Dr. Sconzo, right? So we're delighted to be partners in that program. We have our main facility on Wilson Road, 5809 Wilson Road. It's adjacent to the Golf Club of Houston. If you've ever been to the Golf Club of Houston or El Dorado or what used to be Redstone, we have a 3-hole facility there with a classroom and a putting green. They overseeded this year. It is green, green, green. It looks great. So we'd invite you to come by. We have opportunities really today, how can you be involved? If you would just know about our program, and if you have associates or clients or whatever, and they say, gosh, my kid needs better character, my kid wants to learn how to play golf, we are the place to send those kids. If you're a golfer and want to help some kids out, we have volunteer opportunities. We have a year-round program. We go Tuesday through Saturday. We take Sunday off, and some of my staff takes Monday off, but we're a year-round program. Last year, throughout the Houston area, we served 155,044 youth. So it is a wow. Our main campus is here, but we have program locations all over town, and as I said, we're in 350 schools. We're starting an after-school program. We were in 3 Humble ISD after-school programs through the YMCA, Lake Houston YMCA, thank you. And so we're delighted to be in this community. I happen to live in Sugar Land, but I drive to Humble every day, and I love getting here. I come in early in the morning. I beat the traffic. I get to run in Fall Creek and take a shower at Beltway, Houston, and I'm good to go. So thank you for your time. Dwayne, thanks for the invitation, and God bless you all. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Now, Doug, I got to tell you something. We have some very capable real estate agents in this room. They can take care of that problem for
I
you.
need to convince my wife to.
Doug, we have some very capable real estate agents in this room. I think y'all can handle it, don't you? Okay, good. You know, one of the things that he was talking about, man, think of kids having, I just got the first part of the list, honesty, integrity, judgment. And I will tell you, it's been a number of years that I've been dealing with this hip injury, and one of the things I have not been able to do is to play golf. And so they told me I couldn't kick any more field goals or anything with this leg, but I can play golf, so that's good news. So I'm excited about getting to do that. So Doug, we're so glad you're here. And I do have a question for you. If people want to be involved in the first tee, what do they do?
Sure. Just give me a call. Our website is on here. I didn't get to all the tables, but I have brochures, and I'll be around afterwards.
Okay. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Okay, so we had several people that needed to get gone earlier, so some things I would have normally covered a little bit earlier. I'm real excited, and I wanted to introduce someone to you. Sean Callahan, would you stand up for a minute? Sean, I had been looking for a partner to work with me, with Edward Jones over in the Fall Creek area for a long time. And Sean is going to be working out of my office and eventually planning on opening an office in Fall Creek. So Sean is doing an awesome job. He's has a military background, very disciplined, has a lot of energy. And Sean, I'm just thrilled that you're here. So thank you. Give him a round of applause. Okay, and I wanted to cover a couple of other things before we have our next speakers come up. If you look down toward the bottom of the page, one of the things, this meeting, we've always tried real hard to make sure we run it from 11 to noon. And if at noon you need to go, we understand that because we know your time is valuable. We want you to have a return on the investment of your time. However, at the end, one of the things that we do, every person is going to have an opportunity to stand up and say for 15, 30 seconds about what group or what business they're here for. And Mr. Correa has asked if you possibly can, please stay. And we'll have Mr. Correa talk about that in a few minutes. But please stay. One of the things I love about Mr. Correa is he's working really hard to get to know the people in the community. He wants to try and work and have business relationships, community relationships, and the best way for him to do that is to get to know you. So if you can stay at the end of that time, please do so. Would you say that's true?
Yes, sir, I would. It gives me an opportunity to get to know you, as Mr. Gaddy said, and we can work together where I can send you people who need your services and you can refer them to the school. I'd really like to hear what you do.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next person that's coming up, I just love Jess Fields. And he's got a business that's always interesting to talk about. And so Jess, would you mind coming up? Please give him a great round of applause.
Unfortunately, I need notes. But I will say,
Don, thanks for being here today. I went through something similar and had a few knee replacements, and it's very difficult to get out of bed. And to put a suit on is almost impossible, and you don't realize how important your health is until you go through an issue like this. So anyway, congratulations for going through this and making it done. I'm going to tell you, it's kind of a bummer going from 2 beautiful golf courses to a cemetery. But I was hoping I would be later in the program and I'd follow these golf guys. But I'd like to just ask you a question before I get started. Who in the room has fire insurance? Just raise your hand if you have fire insurance. Everybody has fire insurance. One out of every 50 people will actually ever need a major fire policy. Who has car insurance? Everybody's got car insurance. 1 out of 5 people will ever actually need major car insurance, thank goodness. In the funeral and cemetery business, it's 1 on 1. And may I ask, who has done their arrangements for funerals or cremations? Thank you for being honest. Normally, it's about somewhere between 5 to 7%. It's something that people do not like to think about. It's something that you put off, but it's something that can easily be done. I'm not promoting Rosewood today. No, I'm really not going to do that. But I would say it's something to think about, and it's something good to do, because it's one of these things that God brought us into this world, and someday we will go out. So be prepared for your family. And today I'm going to share a little bit about Rosewood and what we do in our new project. But before I do that, I want to give you just a brief history of Rosewood, because I think it's important to know where you've come from and where you're going. In 1927, my grandparents founded Rosewood in Humble. Now back then, can you imagine, in Humble, Texas, there was probably 5,000 people. There were only 2 lanes to come from downtown. There was one on 59 coming, and there was one going. So we were sitting out in the middle of nowhere. In 1948, my mom and dad took over Rosewood, and my dad was a very, he was a very community-oriented person. He was on the school board for over 20 years, and I'm very proud of all of his accomplishments. After I graduated from college, I came back in. You can start. I have some slides that probably are totally out of sequence, and I apologize. When I came back from college, I came back into the business, and now I would be a 3rd generation, and I have 2 boys that are 4th generations that I'm very proud of, very, very proud of. In 1980, we built Rosewood Funeral Home in Humble. In 1985, we bought our competitor out, Humble Funeral Home. In 1992, we built a cemetery and a funeral home up in Porter. And so now we have two cemeteries, and Atuscasita will be our 4th location. In 2002, we expanded to Pasadena. And again, I'm giving you these boring facts just to kind of let you know where we're going and hopefully where we will end up. We manage over 350 acres in cemetery property. And today it's almost impossible to build a cemetery. We have over 160 acres fully developed. And I apologize, I'm looking here at my notes. 2005, I had a bright idea. Actually, it was a very lucky idea to purchase 4.5 acres on Lake Houston Parkway. We started construction in 2014, and it should be completed at the beginning of 2016. Oops, okay, go back, yeah, sorry. The The one reason it's taking us a little bit longer to complete this project, we're in mud number 153, and Dr. Sconzo is probably familiar with mud districts, how they lie in Tuscaloosa. Right now, we do not have water and sewer. Okay, now they've let the contract. Last year they promised us that we would have water and sewer by May of this year. Now they've come back and said we're going to have water and sewer by February. So that is one reason, and I appreciate the opportunity to come forward because a lot of people have asked me, why is it taking you so long? Well, we're dragging our feet a little bit because of the mud district, and that is the primary reason. But you will see progress. We're starting to put in the air conditioning. Everything will actually, we will be completed long before we have water and sewer. And we're now looking at putting a water well, and we probably will put a septic system in because it's a little longer than what we had anticipated. To give you a little bit of information on the building, hit that slide. We will have 21,000 square feet. It's going to be a very large facility. We will have a 1,200-foot community room with a full kitchen. Now, this will be able to be used for funerals. It will be able to be, it will be used for community events, lunches, dinners, family reunions, quinceañeras, anything and everything. It will hold about 100 people. So this is something that it's something a little bit different for a funeral home, but today churches are so busy, they are not able to accommodate food venues after services, so it's going to be something very, very nice. We also have 500 square foot set aside for a coffee shop and a food court. Now, many of you may have heard me talk about this. At one time, we had a national coffee chain that we were bringing in. For some reason or other, they decided to back out because we're a funeral home. I don't understand. But now we're pursuing a couple of others, and we will have a coffee shop and some type of food venue within the funeral home. This is going into cremation. We also will have a full facility there to accommodate cremation. But giving you just a statistic, in 1960, cremation was less than 3%. Today, it is 49% nationwide. In Texas, we're seeing 35%. The question I get most frequent, or asked most often, is what is cremation? If I were to ask you what cremation is, you could probably give me an idea of what cremation is. But from the National Funeral Directors Association, cremation, the definition is when a human remains is placed into a cremation retort for approximately 3 hours of intense heat, 1,400 to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. But it's a very clean form of disposition. We're seeing more and more of it. The state of Texas, you cannot cremate before 48 hours. There's no reversal. So once you cremate, you're cremated. So in the state of Texas, you have to wait 48 hours before a cremation occurs. We need a cremation permit before it happens, and there's no commingling of cremated remains. You can't have two people in our cremation report at one time. And believe it or not, we've been asked that many times when there is a tragedy where husband and wife may be involved. That cannot happen. Today, with cremation, we offer everything that you have with traditional burial. We offer viewing, chapel, services. We see burials, ground burials, niche burials. You can even have cremation jewelry. Some of you all have probably heard of that. Some of you may have cremation jewelry. Everybody has their own thing, and we offer a little bit of everything. We also have C. We offer all types. And the thing that I would like to just share with you, and this will be my last comment, and I apologize, I'm a little long. We are now building a brand new garden at Rosewood called the Fountains. This is a cremation garden. It is approximately, we're starting out with 2 acres. It's going to have flowing water. It's going to have a golf green. The only thing we can have associated with the golfers is we're going to have a golf green, numerous fountains. It will be heavily wooded, beautiful, very peaceful, and it's a way to be able to memorialize with cremation. And this will be open in March of 2016. And my last slide. Okay. We all have a powerful desire to leave a footprint, a mark. Rosewood has been in this community since 1927, and we're proud. We're proud of the way this community is growing. With God's blessing, we'll be here for many more years to come, and thank you very much.
You know, one of the things, and what I do as a financial advisor, is the people that come to me most of the time aren't just thinking about themselves. And I'm guessing when you came today, you probably may not have known that a funeral home was on the agenda, and if you did, you may not have been overly thrilled about that fact. But I will tell you that one of the things that excites me about what I do is when you're sitting down with people that they care more about their loved ones than they care about their own comfort. So I think it was a good thing for you to bring that to us. I think it's interesting that Jess and Rosewood do a lot in this community. When Dave Kilme talked to me about that, I was kind of thinking, that's interesting, Dave. But then you're doing a lot of things in the community that I think will be very helpful, so we appreciate you being here. Thank you. Okay, so the next person up, the better half of Dwayne back there, is Erica. And Erica, come on up, and she's got something to share with us today. Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone needs to give Sam a round of applause because he worked really hard to try to make some of our AV work and it hasn't been able to, but we appreciate all the efforts. So thank you. In your lunch boxes, there's a flyer. A few may have a slightly different beginning, but this I'm going to talk about LeaderCast. It's a leadership conference. It's one day. The venue is Second Baptist Church, Kingwood. It's the 4th year that we've been able to bring this conference to the Lake Houston area. The conference has been going on for many, many years, and what it is it's a simulcast. So it's held live in Atlanta, where all the speakers are that you see listed on the back, but it is simulcast via satellite right here to Lake Houston, along with hundreds of other locations around the world. So we're very fortunate to be able to have a location so close to home. Like I said, it is an entire day. On May 8th, it's from 8 until about 3:30. We feed you to death. I know I've got several people here that have attended over the years, and we feed you breakfast, we feed you lunch, we feed you snacks, we feed you coffee, Coke, anything you need to get through that day, because I know sometimes it's hard to sit and watch. But it's absolutely fantastic. The website is listed here, so you can go see the fabulous video that we were going to show you today that we weren't able to, so you can really get a feel for what it's about. This year's theme is called Brave Ones, so it's about taking risks. If you know all the different leadership conferences you've gone to and you've heard CEOs speak, the theme that they will always tell you is that at some point they took a risk in their career to be where they are, to build their business to where it was. Jess spoke about, the different risks he took buying the property on West Lake Houston Parkway, and of course, what an amazing thing that's turned out to be. But it's not necessarily something we're all born with. It's something that we've got to cultivate and we've got to learn and we've got to work on. So I'm excited about the theme this year. I encourage you to check out the video. Last thing I'd like to say is my favorite part about bringing this conference to the Lake Houston area is the fact that we get to give back to the community. This is not a profit generator for us at Chick-fil-A or for me and my husband personally. All of the profits that would be made from ticket sales or sponsors are given directly to a nonprofit. So last year we were able to present HAM, Humble Area Assistant Ministries, with a $1,000 check that enabled them to help get the van that was so needed at the time to help with their assistance to the community. We were also able to present a check to the Chamber of Commerce to scholarship a small business person to go through the Leadership Lake Houston program, which is a program that me and my husband have been fortunate enough to go through and that many in this room have. And so we're really excited about the fact that we get to bring a professional development opportunity to small business people. And then also through all of that, we get to give back to our community in a powerful way. So I encourage you to check out the website, and thank you so much.
We appreciate you all very much, and if you can participate in that, it's a great program. I have several things to cover before our next speaker. First of all, I saw Corinne Price. Raise your hand, please. She came in, she's from Insperity, but back about 4 years ago, Charlie Drumgold said, you know, this would be a good idea to spread this around at Humble ISD, and he asked Corinne to do that, and so now we have that in all those places. Corinne, we appreciate you so much. Thank you. Give her a round of applause, please. Also, one of the great things that it was Trey's idea back about 2 years into this, to put this under the umbrella of the Chamber of Commerce, and they've been so wonderful. One of the things that they have done that has just been such a blessing to me is to have a person from the Chamber that helps with this. And first of all, Sam, with you doing the media, we appreciate you so much for doing that. And you can see these on YouTube, so that's excellent. And then Colleen Merritt, where are you? Okay, Colleen, it's fantastic, and you can thank her for the new format on the agendas. So we appreciate you for all that you do. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then when you came in today, you may have seen this right here. This is a new issue that is put out by the Chamber of Commerce, which is excellent. On the front page of that is this year's Citizen of the Year, which is Norman Thunderberg. And he's a terrific person. We're so glad to have him. So after we get through with this next part, we just wanted you to go ahead and stay. If you need to leave, go ahead. But Mr. Correa, since when that last speaker is over, can you just come up and get the mic for me and then pass it that way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. And then the other thing I wanted to mention too is our next BizCom here is going to be June 11th. We anticipate FMC Technologies making a presentation there, and then also Generation Park should be able to share some news that we're aware of that they can't tell yet. So at that time, so something about they'd have to kill us if we told them. So I'm not sure, something like that. And then if you go on the back page, there's some things about upcoming events like Kingwood Farmers Market, and then also the legislative trip to Austin and networking after hours. And then there's some Jenna Armstrong, yay, Jenna, back there. She is the head, whatever you are with the chamber now. We just go, Jenna. Okay, so that's. What is your real title? President. Princess? No, President. President. I'm sorry. I'm going to move on. So okay. So Johnny, come on up real quick. So, I've got to tell you about Christian Brothers Automotive. Have you ever been out driving and it's like 100,000 degrees out and your car goes out? Not good. I will tell you that Ken Williams and Christian Brothers have been great friends of ours for a long time. But one of the things when we were talking in our advisory group, you know, this time of year people start to travel and those kind of things. It's a terrible thing, and it actually can be very, very dangerous for your car to not be able to operate properly. I read something recently about the number of people that die in Houston roadways. It's usually, or a lot of the people pass away because they get out of the car to try and do something when something's happened to their vehicle. So with summer coming up, we wanted to have Christian Brothers come. Ken couldn't be here today, but Johnny really runs the show anyway. So Johnny, we're glad you're here.
Well, I must say, when I got that phone call to show up on Monday, I was pretty surprised. Hey, Johnny, I won't be able to make it to a meeting, but are you comfortable speaking with 200, anywhere between 100 and 200 people today? I go, I can speak to people. I do it all the time. When do I need to do this? Thursday. This week? Well, no problem, but I'll do it. Again, I am Johnny Santana. I've been at this facility in Atascocita Road for actually longer than Mr. Kent has, almost 6 years. I love being there. I love cars. I love automotive repairs, and I'm mostly there because I love translating. When they tell you something like, well, you know, you need to really get a PO 302 check because you have a misfiring on something number 1800, so forth and so on, and me telling you, the car's not running right, but we can take care of it. You're plain English. But for spring and summer, one thing that we like to do is we all want a car that's reliable. I myself, our loved ones, we want to be on the road and not worry about our vehicles. Some basic things that we need to know and we always look at is tires, tire pressures, our lights on our instrument clusters. And there's sometimes a misconception about our lights and our instrument clusters. One of the most important lights that we have that the federal system likes to put into the instrument cluster is the tire pressure light. That went on because of the whole tire blowout and things along that line. It is a light we shouldn't really ignore. If the light is on, which I wish I had a presentation for it, if the light is on, it does tell you that your tire pressure is low. It doesn't mean you're in immediate danger, but it is something you will need to check as soon as you can. Another light comes up as a little wrench or something that says maintenance required. Don't fret. All that means is that by clock, it's telling you that you're in need of a service very, very soon. You don't have to do it immediately, but either you'll be due for an oil change, you'll be due for some kind of scheduled fluid maintenance or something along that line. And then the one we don't like to see is the check engine light. If the check engine light comes on, and it'll just be a steady light, it's telling you that you need to see Christian Brothers Automotive immediately. Because we will honestly tell you what you need for your vehicle with integrity at a good cost. But one thing you need to do know is that you do need to come see us or your loved repair facility as soon as you can, because it is picking up a problem with your vehicle. One thing I do want to tell you, when the light starts to blink, hello, Mr. Driver or Mrs. Driver, there is a serious problem, and you're causing me to hurt. That light is blinking, you are potentially going to have a breakdown. That light starts to blink, we can sense the vehicle telling us something. It is telling us, ouch, ooh, that's going to hurt, and that is going to cost. So we definitely will want to get that checked out immediately. So call your loved repair facility and get them checked out. As we all know, we want a car that's reliable. We want a vehicle that can get us from point A to point B. And what else can you push a button and it'll send right back at you? Thank you for your time.
Very much, really appreciate that. And one other thing that I wanted to mention that the Chamber of Commerce is doing is on March 5th, there is a seminar by Glenn Shepard Seminars, and that is an excellent program that we recommend that you look at. So, Mr. Correa, would you come on up, please, real quick? And so I'm going to turn this over to Mr.